USS General W. M. Black AP-135. USS General W. M. Black AP-135 was a General G. or Squier-class transport ship for the U.S. Navy in World War II. The ship was crewed by the U.S. Coast Guard until decommissioning. She was named in honor of U.S. Army General William Murray Black. She was transferred to the U.S. Army as USAT General W. M. Black in 1946. On 1 March 1950, she was transferred to the Military Sea Transportation Service MSTS as USNS General W. M. Black AP-135. She was later sold for commercial operation under the name SS Green Forest, before being scrapped in 1980. Operational history. General W. M. Black AP-135 was laid down under a Maritime Commission contract MC-65826 November 1942 by Kaiser Company, Inc., Yard 3, Richmond, California, launched 23 July 1943, sponsored by Mrs. Decatur S. Higgins, acquired by the Navy 26 January 1944, converted to a transport by Matson Navigation Company. One of the most active ships of her type, General W. M. Black plied the world's oceans and touched many distant ports in completing her varied missions as a troopship. On her first voyage, she embarked 3,500 Army troops and sailed from San Francisco 26 March 1944, delivering them at Pearl Harbor before returning to San Francisco 9 April with nearly 500 veterans. Underway again 22 April, General W. M. Black carried 3,500 troops from San Francisco to New Caledonia and Guadalcanal. She departed Guadalcanal 14 May, embarked 2,700 at Balboa, Canal Zone, and reached New Orleans 8 June. The transport subsequently steamed to Kingston, Jamaica, where she embarked 2,400 passengers and sailed to Norfolk, arriving 26 June. General W. M. Black began the first of 13 transatlantic round-trip voyages when she departed Norfolk 28 July with 2,700 fighting men bound for Naples, and returned to New York 31 August with 3,000 homeward-bound troops and casualties. From 12 September to 19 August 1945, the busy transport made 10 similar round-trip carrying voyages 5 from New York. In addition to carrying German prisoners of war to the United States, she rotated tens of thousands of troops and patients to and from the European theater in this period of nearly a year. Departing Boston 31 August 1945, General W. M. Black sailed for India via the Suez Canal. A unit of the Magic Carpet Fleet, she returned to Boston in October with 3,000 veterans of the South Pacific fighting. After making a similar voyage during November and December, she moored at New York 5 January 1946. She decommissioned there 28 February 1946 and was returned to service as an Army transport. On 16 February 1948, General W. M. Black arrived first in Porto Cabello, Venezuela, carrying 1,500 Italians, Hungarians, Croats, etc., and after in Peru on 24 February 1948, carrying 626 Croats from a refugee camp in Italy, Camp Fermo. On 2 March 1948, General W. M. Black left Bremerhaven with 860 displaced persons from Europe and arrived in Melbourne on 27 April 1948. This voyage was one of almost 150 voyages by some 40 ships bringing refugees of World War II to Australia. General W. M. Black made 3 more such trips herself. On 30 September 1948, she arrived in Ilha das Flores, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, with Eastern European refugees, many of whom had been in Villach/St. Martin, Austrian DP camps, Ukrainians, Polish, etc. On October 21, 1948, she set sail from Bremerhaven, Germany, and arrived in New York on October 30, 1948, sailing out of Bremerhaven sometime in September. The USS General W. Black departed Bremerhaven, Germany, with several hundred displaced persons aboard, arriving in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada on March 16, 1949. Her ninth voyage. She departed Naples on 29 May 1949, arriving 25 June 1949 in Melbourne, with 826 more displaced persons. The USS General W. Black made 3 voyages from Bremerhaven to Pier 21 in Halifax, Canada, transporting displaced persons, Jewish Poles, 700 persons arriving on June 15, 1948, an unknown number arriving on March 16, 1949, and 822 persons arriving on August 12, 1949. Reference Pier 21 Ship Arrival Records https://pier21 cos/research/immigration records. On 16 November 1949, she again departed Naples with 1314 refugees. General W. Black made a 4th run to Australia, arriving in Melbourne, again with 1316 refugees on 13 April 1950. On 25 April 1950, General W. Black was required by the Navy 1 March 1950 and assigned to MSTS. Manned by a civilian crew, she operated out of New York in the Atlantic until 1 September, when she shifted her home port to San Francisco. Between 1950 and 1953, she steamed to the Far East and transported more than 65,000 troops and their combat equipment in support of the Korean War. After the Korean Armistice, she continued trans-Pacific voyages, deploying troops to Japan, Korea, and Alaska, and returning veterans of the Korean fighting to the United States. In June 1955, she carried troops and cargo to the Bering Sea during Operation Mona Lisa. Following her return to San Francisco, she was placed out of service 26 August and was transferred back to the Maritime Administration. She was then berthed in the National Defense Reserve Fleet at Suisun Bay, California. There she remained until 1967, some sources say 1965, when she was purchased by Central Gulf Steamship Company of New Orleans. She was renamed Green Forest, USC on 508,061, IMO 6,801,171, after being rebuilt as a 10,577-ton cargo ship. Green Forest was scrapped at Taiwan in 1980. General W. Black received 6 battle stars for Korean War service.